Good morning, Tom Beal here. Why don't you join me on the drive to work? I've got some important stuff to share with you today. You see, today is the last day of my 30s. That's right. Tomorrow, I turn the big 4-0, 40 years old. That being said, my friend Jeffrey Gitomer, best-selling New York Times author numerous times, says that the birthdays that end in a zero are always the ones that make you reflect. Always the bigger ones, right? So this one, the 4-0, ends in a zero, so I've been reflecting. And particularly 2 weekends ago, when I went to visit my kids in New York, I took a pen and paper and jotted down some things about what my life was like and where I was 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, 1992, I was 2 years out of high school, went to college for a little while, ended up hanging out, socializing real well, didn't do too much schooling, didn't attend class that much. So I dropped out after 3 semesters and ended up living with my mom for a while. Her and I agreed that that wasn't working out, so I moved out, ended up living with my stepfather in New York City for about 3 months, and then came back and was working in a factory full-time and working at a mall clothing store part-time. And this is back when, first Bush president was up for re-election, and he was running against a guy named Bill Clinton, and then another guy, Ross Perot, jumped into the mix. So that was all happening in 1992. And at the time, I hadn't even made a choice to join the Marine Corps. That was yet to come. And that came just from a chance meeting in the mall when I was working part-time at that clothing store. A Marine Corps recruiter came by and asked a simple question: are you happy? And for those who know me, and who know me my whole life, I've always been happy regardless of the circumstances. But at that particular time, probably one of the few times in my life, I said, you know what? No, I'm not happy. He said, why don't you come to my office? We'll talk. Long story short, that was the end of 1992. By January of 1993, January 4th of 1993, I was en route to Parris Island, South Carolina, to be a Marine. So 20 years ago, if I were to go back and talk to myself at 20, it would be an interesting conversation. First, I'd probably be like, man, you got a wild ride ahead of you. I hope you're ready. It's going to be lots of highs, lots of lows, lots of peaks, lots of valleys, but you're perseverant, you're diligent, and you always pull through. So if I were to give you one piece of advice, Tom, at 20 years old, get clear on what you want. Because when you do get clear on what you want, you tend to get it. Very few times have you gotten super clear and focused on what you want and weren't able to attain it or achieve it. Granted, it didn't get handed to you. You had to work, you had to put the time in, you had to take one step after the other. But when you had that laser focus, you pretty much did whatever it would take to get that result. So get clear on what you want. Because I've wasted years, you'll waste years of your life not having that clarity, not knowing what you want. And then one day you'll wake up out of the fog and recognize, what am I doing? This isn't what I want. And then you'll get clear on what you want, and then you go get it and make it happen. So that's one aspect. And the other was like, man, you think you know a lot now. You got a lot of lessons to come. And yeah, you're smart in some occasions, but you're real stupid in others. So try to learn your lessons without having to relearn them over and over again. Your head can be kind of thick. So try to gather the lesson. Ask yourself, is this pulling me closer to my goals or pushing me further from them? And at some points, you won't even have time. You won't even have goals in some areas of your life. So make sure you have goals and you have clear focus and vision on exactly what you want. And, so that conversation went on. I outlined where I was in 1992, what was about to happen, and then reflected on the past 20 years. And then I thought, geez, what if I came to talk to Tom at 40 years old when I was 60 or 80, double the age? Here I was 20 years ago, now I'm double that. What would happen if I came back 20 years later at 60, or double my life now at 80? And I think it'd probably be similar to what I would tell my 20-year-old self. Man, you think you know a lot, don't you? Just stand by, because what you've gone through has prepared you for what's to come, but you have no clue. You have no idea what's about to come. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, there's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys, and when the odds are stacked against you, you are perseverant. You do pull through, but there are times when you'll feel like you'll want to give up. Don't give up. Push through. Do what you know you must do. Get clear on what you want, and ask yourself, what are the steps I need to do to get there? And are the actions that you're taking consistently and persistently getting you closer to those goals and desires, or pushing you further from them? So get super clear, and just like you witnessed when you're 20 to 40, there'll be times when you aren't clear, and there'll be times when it's cloudy. When you recognize that and you wake up out of that fog, sit down and ask yourself, what do I want? What is the outcome that I desire? And then, what steps do I need to take, if I was serious about that, to get from where I am now to where I want to go with that goal or desire? And then strap the boots on and start taking consistent and persistent proper actions to get there. And you're in for one heck of a ride, man. It's been a fun journey so far, but it's only going to get more fun, more exciting, more wild and adventurous. So strap your seatbelt on, get ready, and I look forward to going through the next 20 years with you, and I encourage you to ask yourself some similar questions. Are you clear on what you want? Are the actions that you're taking daily, consistently and persistently, are they proper actions that are leading you toward your goals? Or are they pushing you further away from them? And then, what tough choices might you want to make in order so that you can stop doing those things that are pushing you further from your goals, and you can start doing the things that you know will draw you closer towards your goals? So I look forward to the next 20 years on this journey, and goodbye 30s, hello 40s, starting tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy the last day of my 30s. I hope you enjoy your day. Until then, make today great. Talk with you soon.